Good evening, and welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting for Tuesday, November 18th at 6:30 PM. We are meeting in the Harry Butter Selectmen's Chambers in the Norwood Town Hall at 566 Washington Street. We have a couple different items tonight, but before we begin, I'd like to start us off with our Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent reflection. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, we have an appointment at 6:35 for a public hearing. Briefly, before we jump right to that, because we have another 3 minutes, I just want to go ahead and knock out item number 1, which is the warrant signature update.
Motion to approve the warrants.
All right, motion made by Mr. Donnelly, seconded by Mr. Plasko. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Unanimous. And 2 more minutes, maybe we can drop down to memoranda. Motion for memoranda.
Motion to approve.
Right.
All memoranda.
Second.
Yep, motion filed made by Mr. Plasko, seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Unanimous. And then our last item in this last minute will be the consent agenda. Of note, on item 4.1, Hometown has 2 additional requests for the 28th and the 29th. So that would get folded in with those other 2. I looked them over and they're essentially very similar. But for consent agenda, this would be 4.1 for one-day liquor license for Hometown Arcade, 4.2 one-day music permit for the Chateau, and 4.3 town common use with the Crush Committee.
Comment on the committee, Crush Committee, and the menorah that we passed last week and didn't, or recently, and didn't think to say anything. Our rules for use of the common do call for those displays to have a disclaimer. I don't believe either one did last year. Could you please follow up and make sure that that is done?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right,
Otherwise approved.
okay. Motion made by Mr. Plasko, seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. All right, and that should bring us to time. Welcome. Good evening. All right, so we need to go ahead and read the public notice.
Notice is hereby given under MGL Chapter 140 and amendments thereto that Bach Lux M Incorporated DBA Bach Maserati, Ernest Bach Jr., Manager of Record, has submitted an application for a Class II auto dealer's license for 386 Neponset Street, Norwood, Massachusetts. Public hearing on this application will be held on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 at 6:35 PM in the Harry B. Butters Chambers, Room 34, Norwood Town Hall.
Thank you. Welcome. For the benefit of the public record, we'll go ahead and have you introduce yourself.
Yes, Madam Chair, Michael Clemmy from Bach M. Lux, Norwood, Mass., Route 1, 441, Boston Providence Highway.
Thank you. Now, for the purpose of the hearing, I know I've reviewed the documents. Do we have any additional questions or comments from the board? Mr. Plasko?
Just to make it clear, we're surrendering the Class 1 license and getting a Class 2 for the same location without any changes, not adding gas or anything else that's not already on the site.
No changes on the site, but we are going to refrain our Class 1 license from Ferrari.
Oh, you
We have 2 licenses on the site today, a Class 1 for Ferrari, Class 1 for Maserati. We're going to get rid of the Maserati Class 1 and just have a Class 2 license. Ferrari folks don't want us selling used cars under the
Okay.
Ferrari license, so we're going to keep the Ferrari Class 1
Under
separate.
the Class 1, you can sell cars.
I could sell cars on the Class
It's
1.
the manufacturer's.
Manufacturer prefers us not to, so we're just gonna go with the Class 2 license, and we'll drop the Class 1 for Maserati.
Gotcha.
Correct. And nothing on the site changes whatsoever.
Thank you.
Besides the name, we're gonna take the Maserati off.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You got any experience on car dealerships?
We have a little bit, a few
Good.
years. The family's been in the business for a while,
You
sir.
must be tired.
I'm not tired.
That's what I like. Great event today. Congratulations.
Thank you
and,
very much for attending.
Yeah, thank you. And, nope, everything's all noted with these guys.
Any further questions or comments from the board? All right, and no questions from the chair. Any further comments before I turn it over to public comments?
Not at this time.
Excellent. Is there anyone present who would like to speak on this item? If so, the chair will recognize you. Seeing and hearing
Motion to
none.
close the hearing.
Motion made by Mr. Plasko to close the hearing, seconded by Mr. Lane. All in,
Oh, I was gonna say motion to approve it.
First,
Go ahead.
close first. So,
Close it
all in
first.
favor of closing, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous. And now I will take Mr.
Motion to
Satz's
approve
motion
it.
to approve. Seconded by Mr. Donnelly. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous. All right, we are all set.
Thank you very much and
Thank
happy
you.
holidays, everybody.
Thank you, you as well.
Good to see you.
All right, our next public hearing is not until 6:50, and so we can
Fly through
see if we can, do you think maybe we could fit the chiefs if they're here already?
I thought I saw one.
Think you have enough time?
Yeah, well, do you think, Mr. Manager, do you think it'll be a long update?
We just do new. Yeah,
I think we'll be able to get through. We'll keep an eye on the time.
we're not gonna get in trouble, right?
No.
Get here early, get in early.
Yeah, yeah.
Attaboy.
Super lucky.
Welcome, gentlemen.
How's
I don't,
everybody?
everybody's doing good. So we have a public hearing at 6:50. I don't want either of you to feel rushed. If you feel that there are items that are gonna require a lot of deliberation, just let me know. We can always come back around to you.
I'm gonna go first,
Excellent.
and I will take up all the time, so the fire chief doesn't have to speak, he asked me. Good evening, everybody. Chris Patton, Chief of Police. I'm just gonna run through some things that we've had going on, since the last time that we were here, and things that we're doing. I wanna do a little bit of, focus on traffic enforcement. We're really out there enforcing traffic. As you all know, we had a fatal car accident, not too long ago. It's a terrible situation to have, and we don't wanna see that happen again. So, we've issued over 4,000 citations this year, year to date. Most of them, because our goal is to change people's driving behavior, not to punish them, we issue warnings for the majority of the time. We have about 21% that are stop sign or signal related, which are very dangerous if somebody goes through a stale red light. 21% about probably roughly speeding. We focused on about 7% on texting, marked lanes violations, another 5%, and then, registration or suspended license is another 7%. So, really the goal is to change people's driving behavior, not to punish them financially. So that's the goal. We have been engaged in a lot of community events. We just wrapped up the food drive that we did with the town of Norwood. The police department alone, I think we took in enough food to feed over 150 families, and we had a lot of people within the town come down and volunteer and help with us. We delivered food to the senior center. The generosity within the community was unbelievable, and that's still going on right now. A shout out to the Bach organization, Ernie Bach, and I know Mike Clemmy just left, but they were incredible. They delivered food to us. They're delivering. They delivered again tonight. Last week they were great to work with. The police department just got reaccredited for the Massachusetts Police Accreditation Commission. Out of the 351 communities and 374 law enforcement agencies, only about 120 of them are fully accredited, roughly about a third, and Norwood PD is one of them. Accreditation, we have to meet about 274 standards, and really it runs the gamut from policy to evidence handling to training to officer safety issues, to you name it, internal audits, reviews of our own work, and it really creates a best practices for law enforcement. So we've been accredited for a number of years now, and we just got reaccredited. So thank you to Lieutenant Benton and Lieutenant Leiden and some of the sergeants, Sergeant Carey, Sergeant Sweeney, the team that did that. They did a great job. At this point now, we're switching into the winter months. We're gonna have some enforcement in regards to the uptown area, extra patrols for OUIs, for traffic. With the holiday season coming on, we wanna make sure that everybody's safe. And so you'll see us out there even more. More walking patrols uptown in the center. We really don't want to have any issues like we had the other day. So we'll be doing that. We're also going to jump into another community drive for Toys for Tots. We do that every year. We do that in conjunction with the Marine Corps. And then we also do it in conjunction with the Bach organization. So we bring everything down to them. And we also retain some of the toys for the schools and get them distributed locally. So in addition to helping on a national level with Toys for Tots, we're always looking to make sure that we give back here within Norwood and that all the toys don't go someplace else. There's a lot of families that have some extra needs, so we're very on top of that. Retail theft, DUI, theft prevention, like I said, those are our winter priorities. And I think that's about it. I mean, we're still busy. It's been a busy run, and the officers are out there doing a great job every day. And we thank you all for your support, your continued support at the police department.
Excellent. Any questions for Chief before we move to the other chief?
Yeah, one question.
Yes.
So, thank you, Chief, for your explanation for last night's capital plan on the tasers. You got it down pat now because you've explained it several times.
That question gets asked a lot,
Yeah,
too, so.
yeah. So back in May, we approved the operating budget, which also included some capital items, including police vehicle purchases. Just if you gave us an update of how that's proceeding?
As far as our purchases?
Yeah.
So when the budget got approved last year, we were able, usually we're waiting a long period of time to get our cars in and upfitted. And now, post-COVID, it's getting a little bit better. We have 3 in now, and we were desperately in need because we are running some cars that are getting a little long in the tooth. So we have marked cars and unmarked cars, so we have patrol and detectives cars. The detectives cars tend to last a little longer. They're more administrative. They don't get, they're not running 24/7 like the patrol cars are. So we were able to really order them quickly and get them in early. A fully upfitted, fully marked police car right now is running about $75,000 per car. So by the time it comes in from Ford, and then they put the lights and the radio and they install the computer and all that work gets done, it's a long period of time. But we were proactive. We ordered them the second that we got the money approved, and we were able to kind of get moving on that. And then we had a couple officers. One officer, his car was hit on the side of the road by a drunk driver. That car was totaled, so we're replacing that one. And we had another one that had an accident, just being in traffic. So I mean, these things do happen. Unfortunately, that one was not. It was like a 50-50. So just a regular, it's a traffic accident. So we're in the process of replacing that as well. So the fleet's in good shape. We do have to start getting to a place where we start to replace some of our older cars. We have one in our fleet that's a 2011, and some of our detectives cars that we used to get through drug seizure money, a lot of that money has dried up. So we have to be a little bit more creative as how we're going to replace those as we go forward. So that's one of the challenges we have with the vehicles moving forward, but we've been pretty fortunate.
Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Other questions or comments, Mr. Sad?
Chief, both of you, thanks for attending the great event today. Everything went spectacular, and keep up the great work, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
All right. I think we'll go ahead and move over to Chief Bailey.
Good evening, Tim Bailey, Fire Chief. Our call volume to date, 6382, where it's approximately 150 runs ahead of last year. So that pace continues. Fire prevention, 5,715. Total calls for service, 12,907 to date. Mutual aid, which is the big issue, or has been the big issue, 762 total for the year, 207 given, and 555 received from others to help us out. Over the last month, I was heavily involved in the early stages of the month with our staffing study. That has been pretty much wrapped up, and we're just waiting for the final reports to come out. Training, October, they did FM Global. They did some familiarization down there with all the groups. In November, our training will be ladder training before we switch into some of the inside stuff that we'll be doing during the winter months. I attended the REPC, the Regional Emergency Planning Committee meeting for the town in Norfolk back a couple of weeks ago. That was very informative, and I was glad to be able to attend that. That takes care of our requirement. There's 2 meetings a year. We have to make at least one of them, so we're good now. The new ladder truck and ambulance, as you know, were approved last night, so we're in the process of putting that together now, and we'll get those out and ordered as soon as possible. The gear room, which was also mentioned last night, that has been ongoing. We've had a couple of iterations of that. I'm working with the police chief as well as facilities to come up with a plan that works so that it doesn't impinge terribly on the back parking lot, because it's already tight enough as it is. So the side lot, we're still playing with that scenario as well, but it doesn't seem like it'll fit quite what we need on that side. So, but that is still ongoing. It was also mentioned last night, the flooring carpeting. As part of that flooring and carpeting for the fire station, we're actually realigning the administration upstairs a little bit of how our setup is. So it's a good timing for that. I'm glad that it got approved last night, because one of the areas that we're moving into, we haven't been in a long time. So it helped to freshen that up and make it more business friendly for those that come up to the station. Personnel, the new hire that we hired last month, Ryan Cullinane, he is on duty and working. Currently, he can only do the ambulance. He will be going to the academy on May 4th. That'll be in Stowe. He will graduate on July 17th. So we still have a ways to go before he's fully trained, but we're glad to have him. And also over the last month, we named a new deputy chief, Jeff Campilio. And then we also backfilled the other spots behind him with captain, lieutenant, and a new fire prevention captain.
Excellent. Thank you for the report. All right, questions or comments from the board? Mr. Lane?
Thank you, Chief. I just wanted to comment, it was impressive that you knew the mileage of the fire truck last night when that question was asked. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I researched all of those yesterday, so I had them all ready to go.
Good job. And
Yeah, that's a great job.
Yeah.
I could have given that number.
Mr. Sad?
Thanks, Chief, for everything. Ryan Cullinane, great kid,
Yes.
coached him. You'll really love him. So tell him congratulations from us.
Fit in well with all of the rest of them. They're a great group of individuals that we have working for us.
Well, our football players. That's it, Madam Chair.
Further questions, comments?
Thank you, Chief.
Great, thank you.
Nothing
Thank you
further
so
from me, and we're just very glad to see you again. Again, don't feel like strangers, or if you felt rushed tonight, just let me know, and we're happy to see you again soon.
Thank you
Nice
very much.
Thanksgiving.
And have a nice
Yes,
Thanksgiving.
excellent.
Happy
Be
Thanksgiving,
safe.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Chiefs.
Thank you.
Chili cook-off Saturday, Chief.
All right,
Thank
let's
you.
go ahead and see if our next attendees for the public hearing are present. Welcome, have a seat. If we need more chairs, we can always grab some more. Here we have a couple throughout the room.
I know, yeah.
All right. All right, so this is a public hearing scheduled for 6:50 for Verizon New England. We are, by my watch, at time, so we'll go ahead and read the public notice.
Notice is hereby given that the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Norwood will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025 at 6:50 PM in the Harry B. Butters Chambers, Room 34, Norwood Town Hall regarding the following. Verizon New England Incorporated and Norwood White request permission to locate poles, wires, cables, and fixtures, including the necessary anchors, guides, and other sustaining and protecting fixtures to be owned and used in common by your petitioners along the following public way or ways. Concord Avenue, relocate 2 JO poles, P.1 and P.1.5, that are located on the northerly side of Concord Avenue. Pole P.15 to a joint approximately 17 feet southeasterly from its current position, and pole P.1 to a point approximately 16 feet northwesterly from its current position. The petition is necessary to accommodate new construction. Wherefore they pray that after due notice and hearing as provided by law, they be granted joint or identical locations for and permission to erect and maintain poles, wires, and cables, together with anchors, guides, and other such sustaining and protecting fixtures, as they may find necessary, said poles to be erected substantially in accordance with the plan herewith marked VZNE, Incorporated, Plan Number 4A ZQ 4B, dated September 24th, 2025. Also for permission to lay and maintain underground laterals, cables, and wires in the above or intersecting public ways for the purpose of making connections with such poles and building as each of said petitioners may desire for distributing purposes. Your petitioners agree that space shall be reserved and maintained for the limited purpose of attaching one-way, low-voltage fire and police signaling wires owned by the municipality or governmental entity for public safety purposes only.
Thank you. All right, so for this public hearing, we'll go ahead and have you introduce yourselves for the benefit of the public record.
I'm Ranjita Prabhu, representing Verizon New England.
Paulette Alty, Verizon.
Verizon is relocating 2 joint-owned poles to accommodate the construction of 1223 Washington Street. So pole 1 will be relocated 16 feet northwesterly from its current position, and pole 1.5 to go southeasterly 17 feet. This is to accommodate the new construction.
Excellent.
In addition, I've gone over this location with 2 representatives from Norwood Light, in addition to Mark Ryan, who had some questions about the ongoing sidewalk work that was going on. So made sure that those panels weren't placed in anticipation of these 2 new poles. And the relocation is also necessary to ensure that the electrical overhead wiring has sufficient clearance from the southwest corner of the new construction per code. And that's what initiated everything to begin with. And I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn, but I believe that is the whole reason.
Excellent. Members of the board have all the material that we need to review, and this time I'll go ahead and open it up for questions from the board on the item.
One question that
Ask it.
I assume I know the answer, but too often when I've assumed I've been wrong. The plan that we have is not to scale. If Mr. Morrissey and Mr. Ryan were involved, we're probably okay, but I'm gonna ask the question anyhow. The pole P15, we've got good clearance from that intersection for access, plowing, snow and so forth.
I couldn't speak about the plowing in terms of the safety requirements for the overhead lines. Yes, by shifting it down, it provides the
Handicap access
clearance.
at the intersection and everything.
It's pushed pretty far from the intersection, so it's
Okay.
not like.
It's not to
walking
scale
street.
here,
Right.
so.
Right.
So I would
I
say,
assumed you wouldn't have let
It's
it be,
beyond
but
the, yes.
I don't wanna
beyond
wait
the
to
side.
somebody say, how come you let them do that?
no. It's more than 12 feet from the back of the curb towards
From Washington Street.
towards going
Towards Font Ave.
yeah, going towards Concord Ave.
Thank you.
And far away from the ADA ramp that's supposed there.
Mr. Sad.
Sounds like a safety issue, right?
Is a safety issue with the way that the pole is situated right now. So if you were to have an overhead electrical cable attached to that pole, it'd be too close to the corner, the southwest corner of the new construction.
Yeah, I looked at it, it's
Okay.
pretty good. No, it's a beautiful building, it's an
Mm.
asset to the community, and being from South Norwood, love it. So, that's it, Madam Chair.
Further questions or comments? Okay, no questions from the chair either. If you have anything further to add before I turn it over to public comments? Okay. At this time, the chair will recognize anybody who is from the member of the public who is here to speak to the matter. I'll recognize you if so.
Seeing none, move to
Hearing-
close the
yeah.
hearing.
Seeing none. Motion made by Mr. Plasko to close the hearing, seconded by Mr. Donnelly. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous?
I'll make a motion to approve
Motion
all
made.
locations.
Motion made by Mr. Donnelly to approve, seconded by Mr. Sad. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. We're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we are a little early.
Bring the light department in
I
now.
think we
they're
can,
here,
yeah.
sure.
If they're here, we might as well move right to it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice holiday.
Put some lights on those poles.
welcome. Hello. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in to see us tonight. So we will go ahead, for the benefit of the public record, we'll have you introduce yourselves, even though we all may be familiar with you. We always like to reintroduce.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chairperson. So I'm Kevin Shaughnessy, I'm the superintendent of the light department.
I'm Dan Morrissey, Chief Operating Officer.
Darrell Hanson, Assistant Superintendent in charge of broadband.
Excellent, welcome.
Thank you. So you have the update. Dan is gonna kind of go through the electric stuff. Obviously, Darrell has some updates on the, the fiber to the premises and what's happening, and I think that it's probably of interest more so than the electric to people watching this, so, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, one of the first things, the holiday lights are being put up now. Might be a little surprise come the tree lighting ceremony on the 1st, but I won't ruin that for anybody, so hopefully everyone comes out for the tree lighting. And the crews are working hard to get that all ready, so I think that'll be good. The big project we have is the replacement of the underground primary cables. That's really in a holding pattern right now just because they're waiting to get the cable. Once they get the cables, they'll start installing it, but the cable's been ordered and we expect them to start right after the first of the year. So that'll get going. We're gonna be putting underground conduits in along Pleasant Street from Dean to Morse. That project's scheduled to begin in the spring of 2026. So the bid documents are being done now. Jason Adams has those documents. He's getting the prevailing wage rates and some other things together so that we can go out to bid. So we expect that to be going out to bid in the very near future. A lot of the other items listed are projects that have either been completed, that you may have heard about. Down over at Central Street, our old building, we had a substation there. All of the primary wires have been de-energized there, and the switchgear that was in there has been de-energized as well. It's still in there. It's going to take some time to pull it all out, but that's the next step. And then we're just working with a multitude of apartment complexes in town, either new ones or existing ones who are doing upgrades, such as Windsor Gardens, Norwood Gardens. They're doing a lot of work at some of their facilities. So the other items, the kilowatt hour sales have increased slightly over 2024, and that's being continued. You have those numbers. And then one of the things Jason added to this report, and I think might have been for you, Madam Chair, is the solar production. And you can see that our solar production has increased significantly in the last year. Not our solar production, the production of solar by customers in town. So, and then the conservation increased by about 70. We've spent another 70,000 since the last time we were here. I think I might jump just to one thing we added, and if the board would like any additional information or has certain things that they would like to see, we'll be happy to adapt this report to whatever information you want to see.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So the report you're referencing, did we get a copy of it?
No.
I don't have a copy of it.
I know we've had some disruption to email service.
Oh, I
So
apologize.
if you could just, get it to us. This is
Oh,
fine, yeah.
okay, I apologize. I thought you,
It's fine.
I was just assuming you had it. I apologize. The one section we added was for billing division information, and part of that is just to try and get people to start paying their bills online if possible. Also, we can email bills to customers, and Kathy Triadi, the assistant superintendent, has provided some numbers where it's number 2, but another thing that she provided was the water MTUs. We bill water, as you know. And in November 2024, there was over 1,150 accounts being estimated. Since that time, it's down to 351 accounts. So we've been working closely with the Department of Public Works. They've been doing a really good job of getting out there and replacing a lot of these MTUs so that people are getting actual readings. A lot of estimates creates a lot of questions and controversy, so they're doing a good job of trying to catch up with that. That's pretty much the list except for the broadband, so I think unless anyone has any questions, I'll hand it over to
Electrical
Daryl.
questions, and then
Sure.
we'll switch to cable.
Did I get it right, that down at the water station, you're taking all the electrical out of there?
Over at the 206 Central Street,
Oh,
we
the
used to have a
old one.
substation there
Yeah,
in the back corner. The switchgear it's pretty old at this point, so it was either replace it or decommission it. So the decision was made to decommission it
okay.
because we can feed those areas out of the Ellis substation as well as the Dean Street substation.
You know what you're doing. I thought it was the other one, but that's fine. Keep up the good work.
Thank
So
you.
will that building now be vacated of the equipment that's in there now, or what's the plan?
It's
for
just
that?
an area in the back left corner.
Yeah,
So we still have the head end, that's
Okay.
gonna remain in place. And then facilities and HR are in the building as well,
Yeah.
So they'll continue to use it. It's not as big an area as you might think. It's not like the Dean Street substation, so it's not sized like that, because there's no substation transformers or anything there.
It might be twice the size of this room, so it's usable space once we get everything out of it, if there was a need for it.
okay, thank you.
Other questions for electrical? Sure.
Thank you for being here, thanks for the presentation. So with the federal subsidy for electric vehicles ending, I suspect we're just gonna see less new vehicle purchases, but we're still offering a rebate?
We're still offering our rebates,
Yeah.
yes, that's correct. And we monitor to make our customers still incentivize it for our customers. Whether they do that or not, because they're not getting as big an incentive as they would have been,
Mm-hmm.
but it's up to them.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're still offering our rebates.
Great.
And then a question I had, I think I've been watching sort of on the wider electrical horizon is some regions outside of New England are starting to feel pressure on rates coming from the buildup of data centers for AI, essentially. That they're very power intense processes. Are we expecting any kind of bump in the road for us in the New England region due to that? My impression is a lot of it's happening further west where they're sort of building out data centers that didn't exist before. Here, I don't know how much of that's happening or how much of a halo effect we're gonna expect from that. Maybe none.
I don't necessarily know if it's gonna be just because of AI, but the rates, I think, will go up. We see now, we still have the 2030 climate green gas, laws that are, shouldn't call it a law, but we have to be 50% renewable by 2030 and 2040 is 75 and so forth. So, there's a little bit of different, at the federal level, policies changed. And we see that potentially some of the wind that was planned offshore we don't know if we're gonna get that. So there's gonna be a lot less resources and a lot more people buying IOUs and municipals, and we're about 15% of the entity, 14% or something like that. So we're in good shape. We have our numbers. But that doesn't mean that costs won't go up. I think we're in even better shape because we have you've been putting money aside now for years, for your stabilization money, and that'll help. But if you're just asking in the region, will costs go up? I think for sure, you're gonna see some dramatic increases if we don't change. I'm an advocate for, the rules and trying to eliminate greenhouse gases, but right now, it looks like it's gonna be tough to get it 2030, so maybe there'll be some potential policy changes at the state level to try and help that, so that we don't see the dramatic increases, or at least they're a little bit more muted than it looks like right now they might be.
Excellent, thank you. And in terms of the reporting, one of my areas of interest when we do our reports, I love our reports from our departments. If there's a part of the reporting that you're finding to be particularly laborious to put together, let us know, because we can always go look. If you're spending a lot of effort on this section, but it turns out that's not actually a section that we're that interested in anyway, then let's adjust from there. Because dominantly, I like the reports, but like I said, at the cost of if somebody's really having to do a lot of manual work to put it together in a certain format, or where we can obviously adapt as necessary.
We appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, with that, are we ready to move over to cable side?
Gladly, Madam Chair. Start off with fiber to the premise project. So we're about 99% complete now. We expect to be done. Now, this is just the aerial plan. Well, can't say just the aerial. The majority of the plant is aerial. Some of the most of the underground is going to be done, as well as many of the apartment complexes. That's about 99% complete now, and that phase of it will be done in the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks. Still be some crews floating around town doing cleanup and punch lists and stuff like that. The second final phase is what's going to be left of the apartments and condominiums, where we're going to have to go in and post wiring, run wires to each of the units. Some of them are easy. There's either conduits to get to the units, or it's just an easy wiring job. Those we've got done. The more difficult, complex ones are going to could take another 10, 12 months to finish all of those. On marketing, we've been doing targeted marketing to existing customers. As we finish an area, we'll market just that area, so people that are months or weeks away won't get all excited about getting it quickly. Since we're 99% now, 99% complete now, starting next month we'll be marketing to the entire town, and that we hope is going to help boost the number of hookups that we're doing. Right now we've got about 400 customers already hooked up. Once the entire town is done, we can market to everybody. We expect those numbers to go up fairly quickly. We've talked about it many times, but our packages include 1, 2, and 3 gig service. The 1 gig service we're selling for $59.99 with auto pay. The top service, the 3 gig, is $149.99 with auto pay, and the middle one is $69.99. Now, last couple of weeks we've been getting a lot of questions about cable TV. What's going on with cable TV? We've been, again, talking about this for years now. Cable TV, as we hook up customers to the new fiber to the premise, the cable's not going to be available to those customers. We're encouraging customers to adopt streaming services. We actually hold some training classes. We had one at the senior center last Monday. It was a great turnout. We had over 130 people show up.
Wow.
We had another one at the wellness fair, which was very well received. If any of you were there, I couldn't make that one. But there's a lot of interest. We picked up, I think, a half a dozen new customers there. We've got one coming up at the public library and at Nord Housing. Same thing, we're inviting people to come in. We're introducing them to streaming. We're giving them some demonstrations. We have a TV set up. We can show them how it works. And we want to just reinforce, it's scary to some people, to have to go from cable TV to streaming, but we're there to help. And in many, many cases, they're going to be able to save money and have a much better product by going to streaming. So again, we're encouraging everybody to really look at streaming. Look at our website. We've got a lot of tools there that customers can use, and we're going to be there to help right through to the end until, at some point, we are going to have to shut the old plant off, but we're going to give everybody plenty of notice and plenty of help, transitioning over.
So do you have, I'm sorry if I may interrupt while we're on that topic, do you have a definitive date when that turnover happens?
Well, we're doing it on a rolling basis as we complete the areas. We started up in the St. Tim's area first, and we kind of went counterclockwise around the town. So the first area we're looking at in probably May, we're going to start shutting those services down, and then it's going to follow that every couple of months, 3 months or so. And like I said, we'll send out notices to the customers, give them 4 to 6 months of notice before we do shut it down. And we're not going to just shut people off. If it comes down to the last day and they're not switched over, we're not going to shut them off. We're going to help them get connected.
We are trying to incentivize people to switch over sooner than later. And those, you'll see that coming out in the next month
With
month or two,
promotions, yeah.
with different promotions. And that will help maybe push people to do this. And like Darryl said, we're not just gonna, here, get rid of your cable, hook up to internet. We're gonna walk you through it. We're gonna help the people. We understand this is it's a big change. And
Right.
we're there to help people.
I think,
And even at the library, there's 2 sessions at the library on January 6th. So we'll have 2 sessions there that people can go to and hopefully have their questions addressed.
I mentioned it's only because I did get a phone call on the video on demand cancellation, which I think is related to the overall plan. A neighbor of mine didn't understand what was happening, but I might follow up with you, Daryl, just to get more detail in terms of how to help that person out. But I think there are gonna be pockets out there of folks who still really aren't aware of the total plan, number one, in terms of moving from cable to broadband or to fiber optics. But I think also a lot of folks don't understand that that is that's what's happening in the industry in general, not just us. So
That's right.
I will follow up with you.
And the video on demand is my next topic, actually. We put out a notice about a month ago that we'd be shutting off the video on demand system. That's just a platform for video on demand services where you can order a certain movie that's on, or there's a lot of free on demand that you can just order through our system. That system is end of life, end of support, and it's starting to break down. So it was either keep putting Band-Aids on it for the next few months, or same thing as the substation, or decommission it. And it's really time to decommission it. There's lots of other services available online, which is even better selections, a lot more free content, Netflix, Prime Video, Pluto, I think there's a Tubi. Tubi's another one. Lots of great content. It works really good over our internet. And like I said, it's actually a better menu, easier for the customers as soon as they can adopt, going to a streaming service like that. But the video on demand only is going to end December 2nd because we have to shut that system
So if
down.
we stop video on demand, I don't know how many customers we have that subscribe to that, are interested in that, but that'll be also added incentive for them to start going streaming.
I think it will be, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no charge. That's an add-on service that we put on years and years and years ago. There's nobody's getting charged for
Yeah, but
that.
if that's what
Unless
they
they
want,
watch
they
it.
can't get it any longer.
They'll get it through us, but yeah, there's lots of other resources.
So Daryl, I just wanted to add a couple of points, if it's okay. So I know we talk about prices and what things are gonna cost, but I wanna reiterate that even for the customers that are just our internet customers, even though there is a slight increase, we wouldn't be able to maintain the rates we have anyway. So there's a slight increase, but the quality, even at the 1/1, is way better. And I have it. You'll notice the difference. If you watch sports or you watch it, it's just way better. And for those other people, roughly, 3,000, 3,300 that also have our cable TV. We want to, even though if you get our internet and then you go and get streaming, it might be very similar to the cost now. But if you don't, like if you went to the competition, it's way more. The savings that your alternatives are either stream or the other two providers. The other two providers aren't anywhere near what we charge. Right, Daryl?
That's
So
correct,
I just want people to understand
And you don't
there
make
is
us sign a
significant
contract,
savings.
right?
I'm sorry?
We don't sign a contract like you do with those.
We
providers.
don't. And not only that, if you're a business in town and you haven't contacted us, you should. I mean, there's tremendous savings on that side. I mean, we're talking, in some cases, a couple $100 a month. And that's, if you're a small business in town and that is something you're not interested in, I'd be surprised. So, and then one other thing, if I could switch back to electric just for a second, because I wanted to explain a little bit about the underground project on Pleasant Street. We haven't talked about it in a long time, and it took some time to kind of, we had to get all our ducks in a row, and one of the problems was there's a bridge and there's a waterway there, and we had to figure out how to get past it. But the idea is the load in the older substation, 495, the Dean Street substation, we want to push the risers farther down to the load, down, in the Walpole side of town. I shouldn't say Walpole, Pleasant side of town. So, and that's the goal of doing that. So we can move some of the feeders, like on Dean Street, Route 1 on that area, down, and then we'll be able to take better use of the newer station, which is 20 years old now, and kind of spread the load out a little bit better. And the other, probably one of the biggest benefits I see is we have this old system that goes through South Norwood on Washington Street, old ducts, some stuff we rent really, I'm talking probably 80, 90 years old. And so being able to not have to rely on that And in addition to that, being able to provide another way to get into South Norwood instead of just from the bridge end, like the Lennox Street end, now from, potentially from Short Street, maybe the parking lot where the pool is or farther in there. It's gonna really help with reliability and you know, the potential, even if there is an outage, to be able to do switching quicker. And so all you people in South Norwood, we're trying, hopefully it'll be, you know, in a year or so better.
That's helpful explanation.
Okay.
Daryl, you have,
That's all I have.
all set?
I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Plasko?
Thank you. Mr. Shaughnessy, 20 years ago, we're getting old. That went awful.
It's probably over 20 years, right there?
That went awful
Built
fast.
in 2002.
Awful fast.
Yeah,
It's
that's
23.
called, I should have said, it's called you guys, and Bill, you're probably part of it, renamed it the Malcolm McDonald Station, so.
Questions, if we're moving to streaming in this kind of a time frame already, does that mean we're not signing up new people today for cable?
In areas that have been fibered, no, because it's not gonna be available to them as they switch over to the fiber. There are still the people in those apartments that I mentioned before, they can still sign up for cable.
Are they
Well, we're
told
running.
it'll be ending?
Yeah, we're putting out notices. Those areas, we're not sure when it's gonna end yet, because we have to build them. So some of them may be in 4 months, some of them may be in 10 months. So as we have a better handle on it, we're gonna give, like I said, 4 to 6 months notice to everybody before we shut off an area.
And what is our relationship to streaming? They still our customers, they totally leaving us for outside vendors? How does this work?
Sure, they are our internet customers, and many of them are telephone customers still. As far as their video consumption, they'll be somebody else's customer,
So basically through us,
through
in
us.
simple terms.
Yep, through our internet.
And so that means right now we're being watched on local TV, NCM. I won't be able to do that anymore.
Not
I'll have to
through
go on my
our
computer
cable
and stream it.
service, but they do stream those services, so you can watch it live on their website, and you can also watch recordings on their website. So it will still be
So I
available.
have to move from
to-
my TV to my computer and go to their streaming? Also
Yes,
have a new smart TV or something?
for now, yeah. We're also looking for alternatives, see if there's a way that, we can make it easier for customers to watch it on their TVs.
Mhm. And we have our own channel, 19 or whatever. What happens with that?
That goes away as well.
That goes away as well.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Other questions? Mr. Sapp?
Daryl, I want to thank you, great job. I signed up Tank Nondelli to the streaming, and he was shocked how much he saved and how fast it was.
Oh, good.
And I'm shocked too, I don't even know what gig 3 is, but I'm on gig 1, so it's lightning fast.
It is.
The two crews putting the wires up during the rain, the snow, the sleet, it's incredible how much these two crews did the whole town.
I don't know
Well,
if
it was more than 2 crews, but yeah, maybe it's the 2 that you saw in your neighborhood.
I saw the
yeah.
the same
Yeah.
ones.
I think we had about eight crews out there.
We
at
might
one
want to get them
point.
for the light department, put an apple out there. Keep up the great job.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Shaughnessy, and for the board, I guess the dream of us in South Norwood would be to get those poles on the ground sometime in the future, so if we could ever do that, that would be spectacular. But you guys know what you're doing, and Uptown looks great. We gotta leave those lights up all year now.
Well, this, as you probably know, this is part of that, if that ever was to come to fruition, having this is helpful. And it allows us to potentially come in the back, like Cooper Park, and feed some of those streets, the Saint Streets and things like that. So there's potential there, but that's obviously not my decision, so.
I'll keep pushing it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, so I had a couple of questions. One is, as we're onboarding customers, particularly ones who are coming off of cable, are we noticing a lot of friction with people's equipment? For example, like Mr. Plasko was talking about, oh no, does this person have a device to receive the streaming like they're used to doing it on, say, do we feel like a lot of the customers have already moved to smart TVs and they're not really hitting any issues, or are we having to kind of help people understand what equipment they need?
It's a pretty big mix. People who,
Okay.
when we get them on the phone and they're ordering service, we try to go through that with them, to find out what they have, first of all. But yeah, we're recommending, smart TVs if they don't already have it. Like you said, a lot of people are already using it, not to the full extent, but they're already familiar with it. So when we come in, they pretty much know what's going on. And there are other devices, Fire Sticks and can't think of some of the other ones right now. Yep, Roku, that they can buy themselves and connect. And those are all great services. We've got a tool on our website called My Bundle. We strongly recommend people look at that. If they put in all their favorite channels or all their favorite programs, it'll tell them what services they need to order.
Excellent. And then another question I had is, one of the things I really love about our fiber to the premises project is, at least the studies I had been looking at, it's somewhat future-proof. Like, they haven't really discovered the upper limits of what it can do, which is great for us because as people are going to naturally increase their types of media consumption they do, right? Just think about how itty-bitty files used to be compared to what we do now. So that part makes me happy, but one thing I've noticed fairly recently is I'm starting to detect a couple of players in the space that I'm not used to hearing from. Some of the cellular companies starting to move in through satellite. And so how much of a threat do we consider that to be? Or are we sort of thinking through, you don't have to lay those plans out today, but just, is that on our radar, the fact that we have this other competitor coming from another medium besides fiber?
Absolutely. By what we're reading, the satellite services are concentrating on the rural areas. This isn't exactly a rural area, so we're not too concerned about them now, but in the future, they're going to eventually come here. Fixed wireless is the other one. That requires cell phones. I know the different companies use different technologies. Some of them use really high frequencies, which is hard to get to people's homes through walls, and even if they have antennas, they have to have their transmit antenna very close, which is hard to do in Norwood. Kind of for the same reason, because we're so congested. Where are they going to put more towers to reach all these homes? So we know that's a threat down the road as technology gets better. But right now, it's not a big threat as it is in other parts of the country. You've probably read where Comcast is losing hundreds of thousands of customers to fixed wireless. Not really in this area yet, but we have to keep an eye on all competition.
Exactly. And then the last question I had is on the tiering. Do we find that customers sort of understand the options, or we feel like we're having to explain it to them a lot as we're showing them what they could do in terms of 1 or 3? Does it seem like people sort of understand what they want?
Those 400 who have signed up know exactly what's going on. You're right, there are some demographics that need a little bit more education, and we're trying to do that, as Dan said, with these classes, with our literature, the information we're putting on the website, we're trying to educate the customers as we move forward.
Excellent. All right, any further questions or comments before we let the gentleman go for the evening? All right, well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Happy to see you again
Nice
soon.
holiday.
Yeah,
everybody.
everybody have a great
Thanks,
holiday.
guys.
We'll see you soon.
Great job.
See everyone at the tree lighting.
Yeah,
See you.
can't wait.
Bye-bye.
Bring an extension cord just in case.
Yeah, All right, with that, we'll move down to new business items. Let's start with item 3.1. This is the, on the water tanks for signature of the board. Mr. Plasko.
Hi, Madam Chair, I'd like to move that the town issue bonds or bonds in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $13,976,950, referred to as the bonds pursuant to chapters 29C and 44 of the general laws, and a vote of town meeting passed November 13th, 2023, Article 8, Motion 3, for planning or construction of drinking water infrastructure, the project, and that the following 7 paragraphs provided in the documents to us be spread upon the records of this meeting and approved by this board. And additionally, that we move to approve and sign this certificate and loan note attached.
Right, motion made by Mr. Plasko. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Oh,
Just for
Mr.
a
Lane,
discussion point,
and then point of discussion, Mr. Donnelly.
so, this is the article, this is associated with the article that we approved yesterday.
No, this is the previous.
23.
Okay, this is 2023, I see,
This is
thank
the
you.
water tank
Yeah,
borrowing.
got
This is
it,
just
got
the
it, yeah.
never-ending supply of paperwork
Yeah.
that comes after such a thing.
Just
Yeah,
one
any
other,
further
no-
discussion?
one other note of interest, I'd point out that if you look at the interim loan note, that the motion is to us also sign, no interest shall accrue and be payable on the principal amount of this note. So it's interest-free.
Great.
Is that why the schedule of advances is blank?
Yeah, I believe so.
Any further discussion before we move to a vote?
I'll second Mr. Plasko's motion.
Motion made by Mr. Plasko, seconded by Mr. Donnelly. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. All right, item 3.2, this is the Friendly's Common Victular Transfer. It's application for a transfer the license from ARAL Management to OMAD Restaurant Norwood LLC, doing business as Friendly's at 1469 Boston Providence Highway.
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Mr. Sad, seconded by Mr. Plasko. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous. Item 3.3, this is Wreaths Across America, submitted by Mark Ryan, the Director of Public Works, is submitting a request to host the annual Wreaths Across America event at Highland Cemetery and Old Parish Cemetery on Saturday, December the 13th, and that will start at 12 p.m.
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Mr. Donnelly, seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous. All right, item 3.4, this is the Traffic Safety Advisory Committee's recommendations. They're submitting recommendations for, first of all, item 1 is a two-way stop sign underneath existing stop signs on Vernon Street. Number 2 is a single stop sign on Alpine on the other side of Springdale Road. This is in the direction heading towards the Oldham School. Item 3, adding a no turn on red when pedestrians are present traffic sign at Washington and Short Street. And then there are 2 late agenda items to this list. One is for concrete bus stop sidewalk at the intersection of Washington and Hill Streets. And then item 5 would be outbound bus stop currently located at the corner of Washington Street and Douglas Avenue, the intersection on Washington Street and Hoyle Street. So those last 2 items, I believe, had come in prior to the email outage. But if anybody has additional questions on them, we'll feel free to go through that tonight.
I have one question. So on item 3, which is the no turn on right when pedestrians are present at Washington and Short Street. So I suspect that is needed based on our experience. My only question would be, it is a busy intersection, it's adjacent to a school and a public pool. Why wouldn't the traffic study committee consider just having it no turn on red, period? Just to further, maybe make it safer. I think we're giving a little bit of an opening that you can still go in the intersection, it's just, it's just trying to get a
Sure,
differentiate.
so no turn on red when pedestrians present, or when school in session, or when, children present are becoming a little bit more common, trying to recognize that there are lots of times of the day overnight where it's really just not an issue and you can turn right on red. That way the police can enforce it if they think there's a pedestrian issue, but at 3 o'clock in the morning, there's not a concern.
Do you know if the intent is to take down the sign that's there already? There's a sign that says about showing courtesy to pedestrians and everything. And too many signs just become so distracting, so
I agree.
if we're trying to do something here.
Because we're adding a
I
regulation, we would
think
want to remove that.
one or the other, not both.
I agree with you, there's
Yeah,
far too much signage.
yeah.
But that was sort of a, just be courteous, now we're saying, no, you
Yeah, no,
can't,
it's a
actually.
regulation.
Yeah, and I think that's fine, it's a good idea, and given the chief's report from earlier, it seems like people should be aware of it, since there are active efforts being made by public safety staff to ensure safe traffic, so I think it's a great idea to have such a sign there. Just curious about the differences between one and the other. You explained it, thank you.
And then Mr. Sad.
Just a quick question, Mr. Manager. Right up, going up the street from that intersection, there's 3 pipes, they dug up the sidewalk. What are those signs for? School department?
I'd have to check the exact location, know exactly what they're for.
Yeah, I don't know. They just put the sidewalk down, they dug it back up.
Yeah, they're just above the parking lot going towards
2
the school.
poles, see
Yeah.
them?
I'll look into it.
Yeah, thanks. That's it, Madam Chair.
Mr. Plasko.
Clarification, number 1. they're recommending against the four-way stop.
Correct.
I agree completely. That intersection is so narrow when people try to make those turns, and there's already on Nickel Street, 2 signs that say state law stop, and 20% of the people stop.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of already a four-way sign, and that only adds to confusion, because people then don't know who's gonna go next. And the other problem is on Vernon Street, on the lower end, going towards town. I don't know the numbers, but, people park right there. They have landscape trucks coming and everything, and they park right there, and it's so narrow, you can't get around. I don't know what we do about that. If we post maybe some signs, no parking from here to corner might help, but that intersection is, I don't think four-way stop will help, so I agree with the recommendation here, but it is a tough intersection.
It absolutely is, and to your point, sometimes more signage doesn't mean more safety. What happens, sometimes a resident and maybe a number of residents will report something, or there's an accident, so there's a thought, can signage control or change this, and that's not always the case. I think that intersection in particular, I tend to drive it most days, so I'm pretty familiar with it. It's similar to the Cal Square intersection. When you know it, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
If you're not going through it very regularly, it can be a
Well,
challenge.
it's so narrow, you get a delivery truck, a landscape, like I said, parked here, right at the intersection, and somebody over here parks on the other side of the street, and you're just barely to get through. It's not bad enough that you're trying to get through, but somebody's trying to come the other direction at the same time. So maybe you could explore further the idea
Absolutely.
of no parking from here to corner or something, and take a good look whether that would help or not.
Absolutely, Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
Mr. Vice Chairman.
Any further questions or comments on 3.5? It sounds like really the only changes we're wanting to take down the Be Nice sign essentially that's on item 3, but other than that, it
Correct.
seems like we're all in agreement on everything else.
Move to approve.
Motion made by Mr. Plasko, seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous. All right, that takes care of all of our new business and all other items, so that takes us down to the manager's update.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 2 small items I need from the board. One is we do need to begin working on the closing process for both the Kosky Farm and the Pachakowski properties, and I'm wondering if the board would like to assign a board member to work with me on that process, so we can then expedite it, make sure it gets taken care of, and bring what needs to come back to the board, back to the board.
So I have in mind, if he's willing, Mr. Plasko, if you believe that you'd be able to assist the manager on that.
They're interesting subjects, and I have the time, certainly.
Certainly, Mr. Plasko's fastidiousness for details will show through. Thank you.
I agree.
Second item, also looking for support from the board. We've been discussing on and off with Walpole for what feels like a century, a water interconnection. They seem ready to move forward. Engineering has reviewed it, come up with plans. We think we're ready to move forward. I would like to see if there's a board member who wants to work with me on just looking at the plan and vetting it, and then eventually bringing it to this board sometime soon for approval or denial based on what the board would like to do. But because the details can get a little deep at some points, I think assigning a board member to work with me and the DPW team would be a good avenue to get that done, should we want to.
On that, Mr. Donnelly, I was curious if this would be something you might be able to assist with.
Consider it done.
All right.
Consider it love to do it.
Your background in areas of water seem like they might be very beneficial.
You never learn to step backwards.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would expect more coming on both of those items in December and January.
Excellent. Do you need a formal motion for those, or is it fine for us to just
No, I think if
verbally
there's
approve?
consensus, that's
Yeah.
enough. I just wanted to make sure there was a
No-
chance
no
for
one's-
the board to
free
No one's
help.
fighting each other
It's
over it.
free
so-
help.
Yeah,
Free.
Emphasis on free.
And
and that's all,
set.
Madam Chair.
Very well. All right, tonight for the Selectmen's agenda, we're going to start at this end with Mr. Sad.
Mr. Manager, we talked about in front of Allendale, and because of the 4 grades at the schools, they can't get out of Allendale in the morning. We're gonna put crosswalks or those, and that would be great. And it was on around 60 Allendale, they're complaining about people parking, as Bill has mentioned, around the bend, and they were looking for maybe a mirror on the pole. I told her to call you directly, but those are 2 things.
We'll add them
Third,
to the traffic safety
yeah.
queue.
Third is my condolences to the Wadicus family. Rachel Wadicus passed away the other day, and a real stellar person at St. Catherine's, and a good friend of mine, and my condolences to the entire family, Renee and Chris and the whole family. And congratulations to Eddie McKenzie, a good friend of mine, got some good news today. So Eddie, congratulations and good luck and best of health. And that's it, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next, we'll come over to Mr. Donnelly.
Just two quick items. And Mr. Plasko and I spoke before the meeting about this. We've received an invitation from the Finance Commission to attend a upcoming meeting for the purpose of having discussions with them regarding context around the use of the Capital Stabilization Fund that was recently approved by town meeting. If it's, I think Mr. Plasko and I are able to go there and provide input with the stipulation that we're speaking as individuals of the board and that any formal policy statement, so to speak, would be brought back to the board entirely. So if it's with the board's consent, he and I would be willing to go to the meeting and observe and provide input as needed.
That's my thought. I don't know if everyone has a chance to see the email came today, and it's basically an invitation to attend the Finance Commission meeting and, talk about this matter and share thoughts, as Mr. Donnelly indicated. But for three of us or more to go, we have no time to post the meeting.
Right.
So I thought we might attend, hear what they have to say, share our thoughts might be individually, and bring all of that back to the board at our December 4th meeting.
Second.
And we can have further discussions of it at that time, as a board.
That sounds agreeable to me. Did any else have any?
Thank you.
Free help, go get them.
And the second item is just, now that we've gone through the fall town meeting and our capital program is now approved, I know Mr. Sad and Mr. Plasko are our representatives on budget planning. I understand you had an initial meeting. I'm just wondering, I think that perhaps in December we could have a little time dedicated to just plot out our steps for the budget plan going forward for FY '27. To follow on that, one of the things I'd like to talk about is, as we're going through budget planning, is I know Mr. Manager took us through some scenarios back in September regarding impact of services of relative to the structural deficit, and I just think maybe the board would like to consider as part of our planning to maybe hear more information regarding services impacted by potential cuts, particularly in the area of public safety, DPW, which were highlighted by Mr. Manager in our September meeting. So just wanted to put that out there that before time escapes from us, we should put some energy behind that.
I agree.
I know it's early, but,
Never too early.
That's it.
All right. Mr. Plasko.
I had two items, and Mr. Donnelly stole them both, so I'm all set.
Very well.
I owe you a piece of candy then.
Thank you.
Mr. Lane.
All set.
Tight. All right. And then for myself, the only thing I wanted to do was just take a moment to just wanted to publicly praise the FinCom. They had some very creative thinking around a couple of items ahead of town meeting, and I know it can be stressful if we're like, but we already sent the literature to the body and et cetera. But I think it's really important for people to if you have an epiphany, let's explore it. And I think that was a very worthwhile process. It was the language obviously prevented us from going in that direction, but I did want to make sure that they got some recognition for the ideas. So, and I'm looking forward to just continuing to find more ways to work together and keep staying ahead. With that, however, that is my only item for tonight. So I will entertain.
Mr. Lane passed, right?
Yes, Mr. Lane has passed.
He's really running a quick meeting. Birthday +1. Still celebrating.
So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Wish Matt a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Sad, seconded by Mr. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, unanimous, and we're all set. We'll see you all next time.